Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time, here to talk about everything in terms in the world of professional wrestling, all the action inside and out, backstage curtain drama. Also, talk about promotions from WWE, the AEW, to New Japan Professional Wrestling, to sometimes, the NWA, also the MLW. If it makes major news headlines, we talk about it here on the show. 1010%. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Obviously, we have a lot on tap today, but first and foremost, hope you guys had an amazing Tuesday. Hope you guys had a great Monday. I know sometimes it's hard to, kind of get back into the old grind, especially with the NFL season up, with barbecue and friends and a couple of drinks over the weekend. Of course, it's it's hard to get back into the grind, but at least we have professional wrestling to kind of help us out through the week. You have Monday Night Raw, then you have Tuesday NXT, AEW Dynamite on Wednesday, and then on Thursday you have Ring of Honor and TNA, and also on Friday you have SmackDown. So wrestling's always there for me. That I guess that's a reason why I've always been a huge fan of wrestling. Always keep some excitement in your life and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So definitely 1010%. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez. Like I said, today we have a jam-packed show. We have our WWE Monday Night Raw review. And then we're going to talk about some NXT. NXT tonight, obviously, it's happening right now. Got it pre-recorded, so I can't wait to watch it as soon as the show is over. Also, we're going to talk about Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss, I'm going to give you guys, her return update. A couple of, articles and reports have been stated in terms of, in media with wrestling and stuff like that. So we're going to dig into that. Fourth segment, it's been reported that Mercedes Moné is receiving special treatment by AEW higher ups during PLEs or pay-per-views, or just I think in every event, in every aspect of that. So we're going to talk about that. And finally, in our fifth segment, something we do every Tuesday night, we're going to jump into my DeLorean, gun it to 88, and we're going to go back in time, and we're going to talk about Tuesdays today in wrestling history. We're going to talk about, some crazy stuff that's happened on this day, but, back in time into professional wrestling, kind of aura, I guess you can say. All right, but before we do any of that, I know it sounds exciting and and you can't wait. So we're gonna, but first I gotta, mention the super chat. Obviously, you guys have, feel comfortable to drop in whatever you want inside the chat. If you have a burning question or a hot take in terms of professional wrestling, or just something you're dying to get off your chest, we are all ears here at the GSMC Sports Network, and it's all about keeping the conversation lively, making sure you guys feel part of the mix. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts inside the chat, and it really does make a difference, guys. So make sure you comment or question. And if you wanted to get noticed, why not use that super chat? It's that $ below the chat box. Send in your message, and it's guaranteed to be featured on the show. Plus, it's a great way to support the GSMC Sports Network. Your super chats obviously helps us keep the lights on, brings you even more, sports content, in this case, wrestling content. So absolutely, thank you guys so much. We are so super grateful for each and every one of you guys who join us here daily. Your support makes all the difference. So let's keep the conversation going. Send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome. And together we will make sure this show is bigger, better, and stronger than ever. And once again, if you're not, if you don't want to hit up the super chat, we are still at gsmcpodcast.net. Hit up the tips and donations link. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Give me some of your takes in terms of professional wrestling. Just remember the Superman punch, that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show. Follow the network for more awesome content. Also here at the GSMC Sports Network, we do live a lot of peace, love, and positivity, but obviously criticism, it's part of the job. Obviously appreciate it. Feedback is a gift. So yeah, guys, don't be shy, and let's all be a part of this awesome wrestling podcast. 1010%. All right, so first we're going to talk about Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw was actually decent. A lot. It was a lot. It was a lot. I kind of mentioned last show that right now, since you have 3 hours of Monday Night Raw, you kind of have to start prepping for some storylines to kind of be bigger and better. Under the Triple H Paul Levesque era, his philosophy is quality over quantity. That's why they're moving Monday Night Raw to 2 hours. October 7th, I think it is. I think it's October 7th. And there's a lot of storylines that unfolded tonight, and I was like, you know what? A couple of flags went up, and I was like, okay, that seems like it makes sense. First and foremost, CM Punk came out to address the sorry, the WWE universe. It was, the best thing I kind of liked about it was the fact that he was kind of making it seem like nobody in his family wanted him to, be in this hellacious match, inside of a steel cage, that obviously the Hell in the Cell, with someone who obviously wants to hurt him, and Drew McIntyre. I kind of, thought it was crazy. I kind of liked it how he talked crap on the whole, WWE booking them in a strap match. So I thought that was kind of cool. He was like, oh, and then I thought people thought touching four corners it was gonna end. Like, you know what I mean? It was, it was kind of funny. I was like, it seemed like he was, kind of poking fun at it. And he said he doesn't want to be in the Hell in the Cell. Obviously, he feels like he has to. Drew McIntyre has woken up the devil inside of CM Punk, and he said he's gonna make him bleed. And he said, if you want to win this match, you basically got to kill me. The I feel like CM Punk is definitely using a lot of his professional wrestling experience inside the ring. CM Punk's not afraid to take a big bump. You know what I mean? He's not afraid to be busted open and just blood all over his face. Drew McIntyre, on the other hand, and I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I think I was looking for like I was making a graphic or something like that, and I was like, oh, I'm Drew McIntyre. I kind of want to see what he looks like with blood on his face. And you check on Google, and nothing's there. Obviously, and I'm not saying he's like a priss and he's not willing to do it, but I think to make this feud finally be over with the frosting on top and then the cherry on top, I think he's got to bleed. I think he's got to bleed. I think both of these guys are going to be a complete, utter bloody mess after this match has ended, because this rivalry does need to end. It's been going on since WrestleMania. Obviously, once when CM Punk came back from injury, once when Drew McIntyre got cleared to fight, it took a little, for that to kind of happen. And then these guys have been trading back and forth promos, beating each other up, getting their arses kicked, going to the hospital, and it's like wash, rinse, repeat, wash, rinse, repeat. The bracelet, you know what I mean? But all in all, I feel like it needs to end that way. It needs to end with everybody absolutely in shock, all the audiences in shock, because they're not used to seeing this much blood. Obviously, it's called Bad Blood for a reason. This match should have a lot of blood, and nowadays WWE, without cutting and taking like weapons to the face, obviously under the new Triple H Paul Levesque era, it was kind of foretold that WWE always thought of themselves highly. They thought of themselves highly. They're like, all right, we put on great matches, so we don't need to incorporate chairs and blood and protect our superstars, because there are some instances where cutting kind of did go wrong. I think there was a match with Eddie Guerrero and I think it was JBL. I think it was JBL, where he cut too deep and he was just bloody and he was passing out inside the ring, and it wasn't good. It wasn't a good look, obviously. So I definitely think that's probably where they should take it, but it should be, I don't know, it should be pretty awesome. Next, we have Sheamus taking on Pete Dunne. Like I said, Pete Dunne is a beast, man. He just got done fighting in a last man standing match um, with Trick Williams on NXT last Tuesday. Takes on Sheamus. Brought out a cricket bat. I thought that was pretty cool. Incorporating a new kind of sport instead of the shillelagh. And kind of helped Pete Dunne finally get back into that win column, which I knew he was capable of going through. I knew uh, WWE really wasn't going to give up on his character. I think he has a better chance in NXT right now. I feel like, with everything happening in Monday Night Raw, I want to see maybe a reunion between him and Ridge Holland. That seems like that would, be a pretty good storyline. They go after the tag team titles, Nathan Frazier and Axiom. That'd be pretty interesting. And then we saw a warming, like a mournful promo with Xavier Woods, basically saying that, telling Priest and Rhea Ripley to not get involved in the match because it's just gonna do hurt. And later on, we found out that's exactly what happened. But the Rhea Ripley and Damien Priest, they stuck to their word. They stuck to their word. And, I kind of liked it. They were backstage. They were shaking hands once again. We'll get into that. We'll get into this. So I don't want to jump the gun too much. Next, we saw Natalya once again defeat Zoe Stark with the roll up for the dub. This Pure Fusion Collective storyline, this faction has kind of gone downhill faster than it ever had a chance of being successful. And, that's a damn shame because Shayna Baszler, very talented. Zoe Stark is very talented inside the ring. Sonya Deville, she's all right. But I literally thought that Sonya Deville was gonna bring these two girls out of like dust and make them, into stars and stuff like that. And obviously, it doesn't seem like that's going on. I feel like in the women's division right now, there's I don't know, maybe there is too much going on for that to happen. But kind of moving forward, I think Natalia is going to be more of a force to be reckoned with inside WWE. It would be so crazy if once when WWE started the Women's Intercontinental United States Championship match that she would probably be one of the best spot for like an inaugural championship title holder. She has the experience, inside the ring, and she's still in her prime. She's still very young. She's still kicking ass, and she's still in her prime, and she can definitely do it. So Natalia defeats Zoe Stark. Next, we see Rhea Ripley in an interview, quickly interrupted by Finn Balor, blaming Damien Priest and Rhea Ripley, saying that we were a family. And, basically, he said he was the devil on Dom's shoulder, telling him to, have engagements with Liv Morgan because Rhea Ripley, doesn't care about the family. They kicked him out. They're wearing shirts that says trailer trash. And, it's, this new and improved Judgment Day. I'm just kind of waiting to see what happens. I know WWE is probably just going to drag it out until it probably gets to the point where they all just kind of disband, which would be the right move. I feel like, keeping them together right now, people just aren't interested. People just aren't interested. Well, it for the longest time. You thought about Monday Night Raw. You thought about Monday Night Raw. They had the storyline between the Judgment Day. You had, Damian Priest as the main guy. You had the tag team of JD McDonagh and Finn Balor. That doesn't make any sense anymore. And then you had Dirty Dom kind of being that like, that the guy who would always want to be better than his father never could do it. And Rhea Ripley was dominating the women's division. It served the purpose. It made sense. Now it's just, Liv Morgan, she's not a great champion. She's not a great champion. I've often, compared her. She's a better chaser of the champion than she is a championship holder. Nothing against Liv, not that I'm trying to throw shade or anything like that. I think anybody who steps between those ropes are absolutely very successful, very, determined and hardworking. But from an outside perspective, from a WWE perspective, playing into the storylines, I don't know. I just don't really see that with Liv. And, it kind of sucks. I wish I would. Maybe I wish I would. Jey Uso came face to face with Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker basically stated that Jey Uso was absolutely nothing without his family. And then Jey Uso fired back, the match, your title reign's going to be short and sweet, much like your NFL career. And then he hit the spear on Braun Breaker. And, until that, obviously Jey Uso kind of walked out with a little bit of swagger. Io Sky takes Kairi Sane's place against Bianca Belair later on that night in the match because of Kairi Sane's injury to her eye. Tag team title match. It was a great match. Overall, I thought it was one of the best matchups of the evening. The ref was distracted. Kofi Kingston went out there to take out everybody, the LWO and Judgment Day. And the referee was distracted. He was outside of the ring, and it was all hell broke loose. Like, it was crazy. Woods absolutely frustrated after the loss. And later on, you had Kofi Kingston kind of confront his partner, his longtime partner, and his brother. And, he was basically said, with just me and you, we don't have Big E anymore. And, Xavier Woods kind of took offense to that. These guys obviously are heading toward a breakup. It should be interesting to see maybe how soon it's going to happen. I would honestly love to see these guys kind of, be champions one more time. Like they were saying, this would have made their 13th run as WWE Tag Team Champions of some sort. And he was just frustrated. He said he feels like he's not good enough. And without Big E, he says that they could win. Obviously, once when Xavier Woods found out that Kofi Kingston asked the LWO to watch their backs, he was frustrated because he went out of his way to tell Rhea Ripley and Damien Priest not to get involved because of this exactly what happened. And so he blames Kofi Kingston. That's why it happened. But Kofi did have a good point. He said this would have happened anyways. they would have got disqualified because they would have came in and beat the hell out of us. So it seems like it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of point. So I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Braun Strowman, Bronson Reed, not really much to say about this match. The beginning of the match started kind of crazy with the top rope snapping and absolute carnage follow. They went through a drywall. They went through tables. They went through the barricade. Like it was your standard, like, let's make these monsters look like, crazy and, indestructible. So definitely, it was decent. Next, we saw a promo with Sami Zayn. Um, it was decent. It was a decent promo. Basically, him not begging for a title shot, but just basically saying Gunther's afraid because he beat him for the Intercontinental Championship and ended his 666-day reign. And Sami Zayn did that at WrestleMania. And, Sami Zayn was trying to drive a wedge within Ludwig Kaiser and Gunther, which was actually kind of a smart move to kind of go. But then Kaiser obviously shows that he is very completed, very connected to Gunther, and he attacks Sami Zayn, and then Sami Zayn obviously, try to get the better of him, and Gunther once again says that you don't have a title shot, you're never going to be WWE World Heavyweight Champion as long as I draw breath, and as long as I hold the championship. So, kind of crazy. Next match, this match was probably the best match of the evening. It came between Bianca Belair and Io Sky. It was phenomenal. It was a great match. Oh, a lot of the times Io Sky has has amazing matches. Bianca Belair has good matches too, but this match was insane. The suicide dive through the rope, it looked hard, man. These girls were taking bumps, and then like Bianca Belair had her in the suplex, had her jackknifed up there for a good 5 seconds walking up the steps. Man, this girl is absolutely 1,010% impressive. So both of these girls are impressive, and it all ended with Io Sky stealing the win. It was perfect. It was the perfect ending to a perfect match, and I loved it. Lastly, not really much to say about this. Dominic Mysterio taking on Damien Priest. Once when it looked like Dominic was gonna, pick up the L, all hell breaks loose once again. Once again, you have Damien Priest and Rhea Ripley taken down by this street trash or this new Judgment Day, however you like to call it. But overall, we all kind of knew what was going to happen. All right, guys. Well, hey, do not go anywhere. We're going to jump on into our next segment. We're going to talk about WWE NXT. Like I said, it's airing right now. I have not checked a single shred of social media, no Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, or, wherever, because there's so many nowadays. It's crazy. So, yeah, we're going to talk about it when we come back. So, hey, do not go anywhere.